So, we are reading Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 3, and text 7. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavin Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavin ज्ञानातिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकं चक्षुर्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवस्य श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Anvi Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Pamita Radha Pamita Namastiti Tapta Kanchana Gaurandi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishudhani Sukhe Devi Pranamani Hari Pri Lancha Kalpa Parikasya Pita Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanudha Vashnavi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistavitari Prabhupada Priya Shri Rajana Sami Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistavitari Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Vishesha Shri Mukham Karoti Vashalam Talbham Navayate Girin Vakti Vedam Shri Guru Dena Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 3, Lord Chaitanya at the house of Advaita Acharya. So we are in text 7. Prabhu kahe sadhuve bhikshura vachana mukunda sevana vrata kaila nirdharana. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved the purport of this verse on account of the determination of the mendicant devotee to engage in the service of Lord Mukunda. He gave his approval of this verse, indicating that it was very good. Which verse? Which verse?
Sannyas mantra, is that one?
Yes, so that's it. Paratma nishtha matra veshadharana Mukunda sevaya hai samsara tarana. The real purpose of accepting sannyas is to dedicate oneself to the service of Mukunda. By serving Mukunda, one can actually be liberated from the bondage of material existence. In this connection, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyas order and recommended the determination of the Avantipur Bhikshu to engage in the service of Mukunda. He accepted the Brahmana's version due to his determination to serve Mukunda. The sannyasi dress is actually an attraction for material formality. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't like such formality, but he wanted the essence of it, service to Mukunda. Such determination in any condition is paratma nishtha. That is required. The conclusion is that the sannyas order depends not on the dress, but the determination to serve Mukunda. Avanti, is it Ujjain by any chance? Yeah, it is. Okay. It's Jen is Avanti. Avanti. Text 9. Sevesh Kailaye Vrindavana Giya Krishna Nishevana Kare Nibrite Vashya. After accepting the sannyas order, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrindavan and engage himself wholly and solely in the service of Mukunda in a solitary place. Text 10. Eta banichale Prabhu premum madira chihna vidikyana nahi kibara kridin. As Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was en route to Vrindavan, all the ecstatic symptoms became manifest. And he didn't know in which direction he was going, nor did he know whether it was day or night. Nityananda Acharya Ratna Mukunda Tinajan Prabhu Pache Pache Tine Karena Gamana. As Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went towards Vrindavan, Nityananda, Chandrasekhar and Prabhu Mukunda followed him. Prabhu dekhe se lo prema vesha hari bale ande dukha shok. When Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through Radha Desh, whoever saw him in ecstasy exclaimed, Hari Hari. As they chanted this with the Lord, all the unhappiness of material existence diminished. Sabha Prabhu ke dikhiya, Hari Hari bali dake ucha kariya. All the cowherd boys who saw Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passing joined him with him and began to shout loudly, Hari Hari. Like we do, right? Hari bol, right? Shinita Savara Nikata Gela Gora Hari. Bala Bala Bale Savara Shire Hastad Hari. When he heard all the cowherd boys also chanting Hari Hari, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. He approached them and put his hand on their heads and said, Go on chanting like this. Sabara stuti kare tumhara bhagyavan, kritartha karile more, shunana harinam. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus blessed them all, saying that they were all fortunate. In this way he praised them and he felt very successful because they chanted the holy name of Lord Hari. You know, so it's like for all of us, it's like when somebody starts chanting, it's like such a pleasure, right? Just his chanting. And like they greet you with Hare Krishna, like you feel so happy. When they see you, they just greet you Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, right? Uktita sabhake ani thakura nityananda, shikhaila sabhakare kariya prabandha. Calling all the boys in confidence and telling a reasonable story, Nityananda Prabhu instructed them as follows. Vrindavan patha Prabhu puchena tumhare, Ganga tira patha tabe dikhai ha tandre. If Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked you about the path to Vrindavan, please show him the path on the bank of the Ganges instead. They're plotting, right? They're making a plot here. Tabe Prabhu Puchilena Shuno Shishugana. Oh, they were boys, Shishugana. Kaha dekhi kol pathe aba Vrindavan. Shishu sava Ganga tiru patha dekhaila. Se pathe avesha Prabhu gamana karila. When the cowherd boys were questioned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the path to Vrindavan, the boys showed him the path on the bank of the Ganges, and the Lord went that way in ecstasy. Shishu. Shishu means not just baby or Shishu.
Child.
Shishu.
Huh?
Shishu is child.
Child. Child.
Ah.
So, so Nityananda, he gathered all these Shishu, because Shishu, meaning they don't think they're just joking, right? They're playing, they're joking. So Nityananda Prabhu told them, if Mahaprabhu asks where's Vrindavan, the path of Vrindavan, just show him Ganga, So they thought it was so much fun, right? If he would have said, to grown-up adults, then it was, oh, why? But with little boys, so they just pull off the trick. Acharya Ratnera Kahe Nityananda Gosani Shigraya Tumi Advaita Acharya Rathani. As the Lord proceeded along the bank of the Ganges, Sri Nityananda Prabhu asked Acharya Ratna, Chandrasekhar Acharya, to go immediately to the house of Advaita Acharya. Prabhu laye yaba amit tanhara mandire sabadhane rahena ye nauka lana tire. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Nityananda Goswami told him, I shall take Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the bank of the Ganges at Shantipur, and Advaita Acharya should carefully stay there on shore of a boat. Tabe navadvipe tum kariha gamanam sachisahalana se sabha bhaktavan. After that, Nityananda Prabhu continued, I shall go to Advaita Acharya's house, and you should go to Navadvip and return with Mother Sachi and all the other devotees. Devahuti, you want to read?
Hare Krishna. তারে পাঠাইয়া নিত্যানন্দ মহাশয় মহাপ্রভুর আগে আসি দিলা পরিচয়. Translation. After sending Acharya Ratna to the house of Advait Acharya, Sri Nityanand Prabhu went before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gave notice of his coming. Prabhu কহে শ্রীপাদ তোমার কথা কে গমন, শ্রীপাদ কহে তোমার সঙ্গে যাব বৃন্দাবন. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy and he asked where Nityanand Prabhu was going. Nityanand replied that he was going with him towards Vrindavan. Prabhu kahe কত দূরে আছে বৃন্দাবন, তেনহ কাহে করো এই যমুনা দর্শন. Translation. When the Lord asked Nityanand Prabhu how far it was to Vrindavan, Nityanand replied, just see, here is the river Yamuna. Eta boli anila tare Ganga সন্নিধানে, অবেশে প্রভুর হইলা গঙ্গারে যমুনা জ্ঞানে. Barabar. Saying this, Nityanand Prabhu told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu near the Ganges, and the Lord in ecstasy accepted the river Ganges as river Yamuna. Aho bhagya Yamunar পইলুন দর্শন, এটা বলি যমুনার করেন স্থাবন. The Lord said, oh, what good fortune! Now I have seen the river Yamuna. Thus, thinking the Ganges to be the river Yamuna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to offer prayers to it. Chidanand Bano Sadhanand Suno Paraprem Patri Drava Brahma Gatri Aghanam Lavitri Jagat Shema Dhatri Pavitri Kiryan No Vapur Mitra Putri. O river Yamuna, you are the blissful spiritual water that gives love to the son of Nanda Maharaj. You are the same as the water of the spiritual world, for you can vanquish all our offenses and sinful reactions incurred in life. You are the creator of all auspicious things for the world. O daughter of the sun god, kindly purify us by your pious activities. এটা বলি নমস্কারী কইলা গঙ্গা স্নান এক কপিন নাহি দ্বিতীয় পরিধান. Translation. After reciting this mantra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances and took his bath in the Ganges. At that time, he had on only one piece of underwear, for there was no second garment. Hena Kale Acharya Goshani no, no,
Shashi read now.
Hmm.
Shashi, you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hina Kali Acharya Gosani Nokita Chadina Aile Nudana Kopina Bahirvasa Lana. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing there without a second garment, Sri Advait Acharya arrived in a boat, bringing with him new underwear and external garments. Aji Acharya Ashi Rahila Namaskare Kari Acharya Dekhi Bali Prabhu Mani Samsai Kari. When Advait Acharya arrived, he stood before the Lord and offered his obeisance. After seeing him, the Lord began to wonder about the entire situation. Tunita Acharya Gosani Etha Kena Aila Ami Vrindavane Tumike Mate Janila. Still in his ecstasy, the Lord asked Advaita Acharya, "Why did you come here? How did you know that I was in Vrindavan?" आचार्य कहे, तुम्हें यहाँ शेई वृंदावन मोहे भाग्य गंगा तीरे तुम्हारे आगमन. Advait Acharya disclosed the whole situation, telling Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Now it is my great fortune that you have come to the bank of the Ganges. Prabhu कहे, नित्यानंद हमारे वंचिला गंगा ने अनिया मोरे यमुना कहिले. Sri Chaitanya Prabhu then said, Nityanand has cheated me. He has brought me to the bank of Ganges and told me that it was the Yamuna. Acharya kahe, mithya nahe, Shripad Vachan, Yamuna nate snana, tumi karile ikhana. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accused Nityananda of cheating him, Sri Advait Acharya said, whatever Nityananda Prabhu has told you is not false. You have indeed just now taken your bath in the river Yamuna. Gangaye Yamuna Vahe Hana Ikadhara Paschima Yamuna Vahe Purve Ganga Dhara. Advait Acharya then explained that at that spot the Ganges and the Yamuna flow together. On the western side was the Yamuna and on the eastern side was the Ganges. The Ganges and the Yamuna mix at the confluence at Allahabad, Prayag. The Yamuna flows from the western side and the Ganges from the eastern, and they merge. Since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in the western side, he actually took his bath in the river Yamuna.
Shashi? Sorry,
Yes.
Shikala.
In Hindi, Mataji. पश्चिम धारे यमुना वहे ताहा केले स्नान आद्र को पीना छाड़ी शुष्क करो परिधान. फिर अद्वैत आचार्य ने प्रार्थना की कि यमुना नदी में स्नान करने के कारण चैतन्य महाप्रभु का कौपीन गीला हो गया है, अतएव उन्हें अपना कौपीन बदलकर सूखा वस्त्र पहन लेना चाहिए. 38. प्रेमावेशे तीन दिन आछो उपवास आजी मोर घरे भिक्षा चलो मोर वास. अद्वैत आचार्य ने कहा, कृष्ण प्रेम के भावावेश में आप 3 दिन से अनवरत उपवास करते आ रहे हैं, अतएव मैं आपको अपने घर पर भिक्षा ग्रहण करने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूँ। आप मेरे साथ मेरे घर चले। एक मुष्टि अन्न मुई करिया छुपात, सूखा रूखा व्यंजन कैलू सूप आरस शाक। अद्वैत आचार्य ने आगे कहा, मैं अपने घर में मुट्ठी भर चावल पकाया है। मैंने अपने घर में मुट्ठी भर चावल पकाया है। तरकारियां भी अत्यंत सादी है। कोई भी विलास प्रिय व्यंजन नहीं है। केवल थोड़ा सूप है और कुछ शाक है। એ તો બોલી નૌકાય ચડાયા નીલો નિજ ઘર, પાદ પ્રક્ષાલન कैलो आनंद अंतर। यह कहकर श्री अद्वैत आचार्य उन्हें नाव में बैठाकर अपने घर ले आए। वहां पर अद्वैत आचार्य ने महाप्रभु के चरण प्रक्षालन किए और इस तरह भीतर भीतर परम आनंदित हुए।
Anupama Mata.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Mataji, why did Advaita Acharya, he was so senior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he's doing Pad Prakshalan. He knew he's God.
Is doing what?
He knew he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why he did it,
Yeah.
the Prakshalan, because he was so senior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah, I remember they prayed and called him, no? Yeah.
Okay. Text 41. प्रथमे पक्का करिया चेना आचार्यानि विष्णु संपर्णे कैला आचार्यापानि. All the eatables were first cooked by the wife of Advaita Acharya. Then Srila Advaita Acharya personally offered everything to Lord Vishnu. Purport. This is the ideal householder life. The husband and wife live together, and the husband works very hard to secure paraphernalia for worshipping Lord Vishnu. The wife at home cooks a variety of foods for Lord Vishnu, and the husband offers it to the deity. After that, Arati is performed and the prasadam is distributed amongst family members and guests. According to the Vedic principles, there must always be a guest in the householder's house. In my childhood, I have actually seen my father receive not less than 4 guests every day, and in those days, my father's income was not very great. Nonetheless, there was no difficulty in offering prasadam to at least 4 guests every day. According to the Vedic principles, a householder before taking lunch should go outside and shout very loudly to see if there is anyone without food. In this way, he invites people to take prasadam. If someone comes, the householder offers him prasadam. And if there is not much left, he should offer his own portion to the guest. If no one responds to his call, the householder can accept his own lunch. Thus, the householder's life is also a kind of austerity. Because of this, the householder's life is called the Grihasthashram. Although a person may live with his wife and children happily in Krishna consciousness, he also observes the regulative principles followed in any temple. If there is no Krishna consciousness, the householder's abode is called a Grihmedi's house. Householders in Krishna consciousness are actually Grihastha, that is, those living in the ashram with their families and children. Sri Advaita Prabhu was an ideal Grihastha and his house was the ideal Grihastha ashram.
Yes, so so now we know where Prabhupada speaks about it. Many times Prabhupada speaks about that, right? That the householders, they should cook extra to distribute, to receive guests. Or as we know, when we were children, we know that as soon as we go to the grandmother's house, immediately all the ladies are in the kitchen cooking, right? Cooking full meal for everyone. So it was like so natural to do it. So like we just had this cooking class the other day. And so the question was asked, what do we do with leftover? What do we do with leftover? So actually the principle of cooking more than your need was not for us to put it in the fridge for the next day, right? It was we cooked so that we should expect guests and we should ask anybody who needs food or atiti devo bhava, right? So if we don't know, if we can't follow this principle there, then every single day we should save that extra amount that we are supposed to cook and we should bring it to some temple. right? So here Prabhupada is saying 4, meaning that if your family is of 4, you should cook for 8, right? Isn't it? You should cook for 8. So now you don't know what to do with that extra 4. So therefore, you don't cook it because you know there's going to be no guests. These days, culture is not there. So we collect it. We collect it, and every week we go and give it to some temple. So that duty is done. You follow this? All right. I heard a lecture, I'm saying it everywhere. I heard a lecture where Prabhupada is saying that previously, in temples, whoever will come, to take darshan in the temple, they will bring one pound full of rice or whatever, and there will be pots. So in each, so many people whoever is coming to take darshan, so they will put in the appropriate pots. So every day the pujaris will offer and they will have something to eat, because the brahmanas, they don't go out and do some job. They take care of the deities. So how will they be fed? So Prabhupada says, we don't do it so that pujaris starve. So because they starve, and therefore we know what happened, nobody wants to be pujari, right? So they go out and they look for some job. Anyway, I don't want to get into all this discussion again, but this is the principle. So this varnashram is a very interdependent society. So everybody is fed. So many poor people are fed, brahmanas are fed, right? Like we see Mahaprabhu here, Advaita Acharya is inviting him to his house for his first alms, right? Advaita Acharya wants to give him his first alms. So what did he say? Oh, in my house, everything is very simple. There's no luxurious cooking, just soup and spinach, right? That's what he said, soup and spinach. So he wanted to give him the first alms. So we should implement it, because we should know that if we don't share the food, we will lack food in our house. We'll have no food in your house. So it is imperative that every week, this means 1 pound full of rice, right? 4 guests means 4 pound full of rice. So if you can collect it, and at the end of the week, you go to some temple, you give it there, a bhog. And best is if you can cook yourself and invite people for prasad. So it's like we don't want to do it. At least in cities, we find it difficult. We should not neglect the sannyasis, the brahmacharis, and those who are in need, right? So Prabhupada says, in my childhood, I have actually seen my father receive not less than 4 guests every day. And in those days, my father's income was not very great. Nonetheless, there was no difficulty in offering prasadam to at least 4 guests every day. According to the Vedic principles, a householder before taking lunch should go outside and shout very loudly to see if there is anyone without food. All right. So sharing food is a duty of the grihastas. So please don't cook more, because why are you cooking more? Because it is the tradition that we should cook more than what's required for the family. It is the tradition. Tradition meaning the instruction, right? So what do I do with it? Now you don't know what to do with it. Nobody wants to eat. Nobody wants to accept it. So I'm giving you the idea. Don't cook it. Keep the grain. At the end of the week, you give to the temple and they will distribute on your behalf. Yes, Indira Radha.
Sounds very impractical to me.
Sorry?
Sounds very impractical to
Oh,
me.
to collect grains?
No, what we do usually is give donation every month. So it's the same.
Yes, so the amount, what I mean is the amount, the value of it.
You don't have to cook and take one amount, one palmful of rice. This is
No, I'm not saying cooking it.
that.
I'm not saying cooking and sending it to the temples. I'm
Keep it
saying
in.
collect. I'm saying that the value, right? The value of, let's properly speak of 4 guests. So that dry grains, you collect this. And that dry grain you give in temples. They will cook. They will cook on your behalf. You have given, that's what we call anadan, right? But here we just do it once in a blue moon. But
No,
here,
Mataji, there are certain grahastha who I have seen it in this Jagannath temple. They religiously every month a 5 kg rice bag or 2 kg dal, something like that in a big quantity. There are certain I don't know, donors who religiously every month do that. And it comes inside the temple, you know, inside the DT kitchen. So I know that this is a donation. And many times, even when they are cooking, there is one gentleman who religiously does that. He says, I have left this much. This is my this month's donation. I don't know whether the calculation is all that, but some people, they do that and they religiously. I have seen that gentleman religiously doing it month after month.
so that's what I'm just giving the understanding, all right? Meaning that a householder cannot cook exactly how much we eat. Now the translation, the tradition has been that we cook more, right? So why we are cooking more? Because actually that extra is meant for the guests. It's not meant to be, stuck in the fridge for us to eat stale food the next day and get sick, right? Everything's here. It's like the idea. It's so distorted. Everything got distorted, right? It got distorted in course of time.
Mataji, I have a question. If we give it in Jew temple, will they take it, Mataji?
What?
This rice, what you just now said,
Not cooked rice.
that's what I'm saying. The grains,
Oh.
if we give,
Of course. Any temple will take.
they'll accept it.
Any
Okay,
temple will take.
okay, Mataji. Okay,
Any temple will take.
sorry. Okay, ma'am.
Actually, they started this tula down now with all grains. They have it here in the temple. You can just measure yourself, whatever you want to give, right? But this is a religious principle. This is the dharma of the grihastha. I read it again. So Prabhupada is saying that if someone comes, the householder offers him prasadam. And if there is not much left, he should offer his own portion to the guest. If no one responds to his call, the householder can accept his own lunch. Thus, the householder's life is also a kind of austerity. Right? Because of this, the householder's life is called a grihastha ashram. Although a person may live with his wife and children happily in Krishna consciousness, he also observes the relative principles followed in any temple. If there is no Krishna consciousness, The householder's abode is called a griha, made his house. Householders in Krishna consciousness are actually grihastas. That is, those living in the ashrama with their families and children. Shri Advaita Prabhu was an ideal grihastha, and his house was the ideal grihastha ashram. Solving this mystery of why is it that the householders, they cook so much more than the required? It's such a mystery. Why do they cook like this? Right? And then they don't know what to do with it. So in course of time, living in cities when the fridge was invented, then they just push it in the fridge. Right? For me to eat the next day, and it is spoiled food. Rice, if you put rice in the fridge, you're eating poison. A vegetable that's cooked more than 3 hours, it becomes rotten the next morning, even if you put it in the fridge. Right? That's how you get worms in your stomach. And you get worms in the stomach, and the whole body gets contaminated. Right? That's how people are getting all types of diseases. We don't eat real food. So there is a share from the grihasta's house that is meant for others. All right. So if you don't know where to give it, then if you don't know how to give it from your home, then you go and find out where they can distribute it. That's all that I'm saying. But it must be done. It's like it's your karma that you are actually releasing. It's your karma. Nobody is allowed to eat, just like you're not allowed to eat without giving to Krishna. Similarly, you're not allowed to eat without sharing with others. It's a principle. Yes, Anupam.
Mataji, you gave 3 options as per this purport. Either give the money or the grains, or cook and invite people for prasadam.
Yeah, festivals are happening in your society, in your community, just, pull in with others, right? Program, children program, senior citizen program, give. If you will do not give, one day you won't have in your house. All right, it's a simple law. So, okay, let's go on. Text 42. Who's reading now? Okay, Preeti?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 42. Tina thani bhoga badela samakari. Krishnera bhoga badela dhatu patro pari. Translation. All the prepared food was divided into 3 equal parts. One part was arranged on a metal plate for offering to Lord Krishna. Purport. The word badaile means increased is very significant in this verse. It is a sophisticated word used here by the grihas in Bengal. Whenever food is prepared and we take away a portion, the food is actually decreased. But here it is a system to say baidela or increased. The food is prepared for Krishna and offered to him and the Vaishnavas. The stock is increased, never decreased.
Just see, right? This is exactly what we are saying. All right. So if you don't give, then your stock will decrease. See? If you give, your stock will increase. If you don't give, your stock will decrease. Amazing, right? So Prabhupada is saying that there's a saying that this is a system, right? It's a system. Sharing food, it's amazing. So it is a sophisticated varila, meaning it is a sophisticated word used by the grihastas in Bengal. It's a sophisticated word used by the grihastas in Bengal. Whenever food is prepared, we take away a portion. the food is actually decreased. But here it is the system to say baraila or increased. If food is prepared for Krishna and offered to him and the Vaishnavas, the stock is increased, never decreased. Okay? You never know poverty.
Yes, Mataji. I'll continue, Mataji.
Yes.
Question.
But for text 43, Batisa Athiya Kalara Angatiya Tiya Pate Dui Thani Boga Badela Bala Mate. Translation. Of the three divisions, one was arranged on a metal plate and the other two were arranged on the plantain leaves. These leaves were not bifurcated and they were taken from a banana tree that held at least 32 bunches of bananas. The two plates were filled very nicely with the kinds of food described below. Text 43. Madhya pitta grata shikta salya anera stupa chari dikhe vyanjana dong ara mudga supa. The translation. The cooked food was a stack of very fine grains, nicely cooked, and in the middle was yellow clarified butter from the milk of cows. Surrounding the stack of rice were pots made of the skins of banana trees, and in these pots were varieties of vegetables and the moong dal. Sadraka vastuk saka shaka vividha prakara patola kusmanda badi manakachukara ara. Translation. Among the cooked vegetables were patolas, squash, manakaku, and a salad made with the pieces of ginger and various types of spinach. Text 46. Chay maricha sukta diya sab phale mule amrita nindaka pancha vida tikta jale. Translation. There was sukta, bitter mill mixed with all kinds of vegetables. Define the taste of nectar. There are 5 kinds of bitter and pungent suktas. Text 47. Komala nimba patra saha baja vartaki patola fola badi baja kusmanda manachaki. Translation by Divine Krishna Prabhupada. Among the various vegetables were newly grown leaves of nimba trees fried with eggplant. The fruit known as patola was fried with pulbadi and a kind of dal preparation, first mashed and then dried in the sun. There was also a preparation known as the Kusmanand Manakachaki. Purport. We request our editors of cookbooks to add all these 9 preparations described by the experienced author Sri Kaviraj Goswami.
So Prabhupada is saying, we request our editors of cookbooks to add all these nice preparations described by the experienced author Srila Kaviraj Goswami. So meaning that cooking, right? Cooking and offering to Krishna and the Vaishnava, right? This is the exchange of love, right? And not just, our soup and spinach, right? Not just soup and spinach, but Prabhupada said, all these nice preparations. And remember, Prabhupada is a super cook, right? Srila Prabhupada is super cook and he trained his disciples in cooking. So when they asked Prabhupada, how did he learn cooking? He said, by watching his mother. Right? Srila Prabhupada learned cooking by watching his mother.
648. Narikela Shashya Chana Shakara Madhura Mocha Ganta Mugdugda Kusum Manda Shakal Prachura. Translation. The preparation made with coconut pulp mixed with curd and the rock candy was very sweet. There was a curry made of banana flowers and scotched boiled in milk with all in great quantity.
Rashmi, you want to read? 49.
Yes, Madhya. Hare Krishna. Madhuramla bada amladi panchachaya sakala vyanjana kaila loke yatahaya. There were small cakes in sweet and sour sauce and 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. All the vegetables were so made that everyone present could take prasad. मुद्गा बड़ा, मुद्गा बड़ा, कला बड़ा, माशा बड़ा, मिष्ट, क्षीर पुली नरिकेला यत पिष्ट इष्ट. There were soft cakes made with moong dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas, and soft cakes made with urad dal. There were various kinds of sweetmeats, condensed milk mixed with rice cakes, a coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. Batisha Atiya.
We want spiritual body, right? We want spiritual body to taste all this, right? How can anybody taste all this? Not possible. We take just little, right? Yes, Rashmi.
तिशाठिया कलारा डोंगा बड़ा बड़ा चले हाले नाही डोंगा अति बड़ा दादा बड़ा दड़ा. All the vegetables were served in pots made of banana leaves taken from trees, producing at least 32 bunches of bananas. These pots were very strong and big and did not tilt or totter. पंचाश डोंगा व्यंजने पुरीना तीना भोगेरा आशे पाशे राखीला धरीना. All around the three eating places were 100 pots filled with various kinds of vegetables. सघृत पायस नवमृत कुंडिका भरीना तीन पात्रे घनावर्त दुग्ध राखित धरीना. Along with various vegetables was sweet rice mixed with ghee. This was kept in new earthen pots. Earthen pots filled with highly condensed milk were placed in three places. Dugdha chida kala ara dugdha laki yateka karila taha kahite na saki shaki. Besides the other preparations, there was chipped rice made with milk and mixed with bananas, and also white squash boiled in milk. Indeed, it is not possible to describe all the preparations that were made.
Everything was organic and disposable, right? Isn't it? Everything organic and disposable. So what happened at this white away? Can anybody guess? What happened? I mean, this is just in one household. What happened?
Women went to
Hmm?
So women went to work, the Green Revolution. So organic food was, so Green Revolution came in India. So chemicals were used so that more production could be done.
Then, what's the Green Revolution? I don't know what it is.
They started using chemicals and machinery.
The fertilizers, she means to increase the production, the fertilizers. So that was, yes, that is definitely one of the reasons. And then cutting of the trees, this modernization. So the trees, everything gradually disappeared and we have more concrete. Now it's all concrete jungle. So where are the trees? Where can you have banana plant with 32 banana coming out of one branch? Here, twice it has been mentioned. So that kind of organic things coming from your own household. Why you need anything from the next door?
And they made pots, right? They made pots with the banana leaves. All the vegetables were served in pots made of banana leaves taken from trees producing at least 32 bunches of bananas. These pots were very strong and big and didn't tilt or totter. Right? That's what we're reading here.
Plastic container.
Yeah. So I'm asking what happened. This is how the commercial people started doing mass production.
That was Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, they came up, okay, what is the requirement in your house? Right? So they started experimenting, doing so much research, right? So they did mass production. And then they did all types of stuff. Like, I remember when we first came to India, in the early 90s, water was served in that pot, right? That earthen pot. What do you call it? a small earthen pot. Now it is
Kulo.
Kullad.
cooler.
हाँ,
Cooler.
and in Bengali it's called kulo. In
Kullad.
Hindi, kullad. Same.
We don't see it at all anymore. All.
I'm sure in Bengal it is still there, Mataji.
Yeah, it is still there. Yes.
In Mayapur, when they serve prasad, do they serve in that?
Not in Mayapur, but in the interiors where there, like trains and all, they serve tea and kullad and all that is
No,
still.
in Mayapur also where they keep it in front of the deities, it's all the earthen pots. It's never, prasadam is never,
No. I'm speaking on when they do the prasadam distribution, right? Right? They don't use. What has
No.
happened? Right? What has
they
happened?
don't. Okay.
Right? Even those leaf plates, the way it gradually changed those leaf plates, then it become only in mock leaf plate. They use newspaper, they use some plastic, God knows what, right? Not when we first came to India, was it just around in the early 90s, I mean, that's 35, 40 years ago, right? This is all mass production, and India is such a catch, right? Every household, and then major mess and environmental disaster, right? Whereas all these are disposable. You just throw it in your garden, right? And they have pits where they put all the pots. So it goes back in the earth.
But Mataji,
So we thought that people were primitive before, right? We thought this is a primitive age. Now we're advanced. Now we're eating plastic cups, and there's, I don't know what you call that foam stuff, right?
thermocol. Mataji, but in Mayapur still they give food in shalpata. That is, it is made of made of leaves, and then when it is mass, where you have 10,000, 20,000 people, they give it in shalpata. Only when you are in the guest house, then they give you in a steel plate, and they have that little shalpata cut on top, so that you are not dirtying the steel plate. You are still eating in that pata. But when you are eating otherwise, it is all shalpata. Still, till now, till in March. I've been there in March. So it is there, but not into that level.
I was saying that this is when we want to make money from people, right? So we see what is their requirements. So we start inventing ways and means by which we can make money from them, and we demolish and destroy the natural way of living. Right? Indira Radha, when we were children, when they were a wedding, it was always banana leaves, right? Now we don't find it. Right?
The real one, not the plastic one now. They have this.
Yeah. Banana leaf. Everybody, we know that wedding is coming. Everybody will go get the banana leaf from the fields. We all ate. How many? Hundreds of people, right? Hundreds of people. So all that has disappeared in just one generation.
And Mataji, organic, the South Indian peoples, they still use banana leaves. And I got to know that when we put hot food on it, then there are certain enzymes released from the leaf. So that helps in digestion also. When you put just the hot dal over it, then it becomes easier to
Everything was organic, right? So industrialization is okay. All right. So let me see where we are. Then maybe we should continue a little bit 1, 2, and then we'll stop. Okay, just two, 3 more. Let me read it. Shedharina Savamrita Kundika Hari Champakala Tadhi Sandesha Kahite Na Pari. In 2 places, there were earthen pots filled with another preparation made with yogurt. Sandesh is a sweet meat made with curd and banana. I'm unable to describe it all. Anavyanjana upare dila tulasi manjari. Tina jala patre suvasita jala bhari. Upon the stack of boiled rice and all the vegetables were flowers of the tulsi trees. There were also pots filled with scented rose water. Tina Shubra Pikatara Upari Vasan. Sakshat Krishna Karina Bhojana. There were 3 sitting places where soft cloth were placed. Thus, Lord Krishna was offered all the food, and the Lord took it very pleasantly. Aratira Kale Dui Prabhu Bolaila. Sange Sabasi Arati Dekhila. It is the system of the offering food to perform Bhoga Arati. Advaita Prabhu asked the 2 brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, to come see the Arati. The 2 lords and all others present went to see the Arati ceremony. Arati Kariya Krishna Karala Shayana Acharya Si Prabhure Tabe Kaila Nivedanam. After Arati was performed for the deities in the temple, Lord Krishna was made to lie down to rest. Advaita Acharya then came out to submit something to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All right, so we stop here. And the next week now, another story, another description will start. All right. Hare Krishna. Very enlivening, right?
The short
Oh,
story.
oh,
The short
oh,
story, yes.
a sad story. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Panchakalpatrubhyascha
Krishna.
kripa sindhu vaibhacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.